Okay, in this video what we're going to be doing is hooking up your opt-in form to your autoresponder system, and the way it's done is very simple. Now the first thing I'm going to do is to go to, well actually the first thing that I'd like you to do is to go to your autoresponder system and generate that form code which is attached to the autoresponder system that you would like your names and email addresses to be sent into. Okay, now I've already gone ahead and done this, and I've got my form code already set up, which is here, and I've got this set up here as the Aweber unformatted basic form code. That's the form code that I generated for myself. I wanted to remove as much of all the CSS design elements that Aweber include as possible. So I've just saved it as a text file, and then I'm just looking at it here, so we can see this is basically what it should look like. Most of this we're not going to need. I'm not sure why, but Aweber have actually put in a load of design code here. We really just want the very basics of the form code itself, because obviously we've got the design already. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to copy all of that. I'm actually just copying it to my clipboard, and then I'm going back to Dreamweaver again, and I'm going to create a new page here. It's just a new HTML page. Just a blank page is fine. So then I'm just going to hit the create button, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the code, just look at the code only. I'm going to remove all of that, so I've just selected all of it, hit the delete key, and then paste. And I've just pasted in all of that code. Now you can see it's a little bit easier to work with because now it's coloured. We've got orange and blue, so it just helps divide everything up that we need. Now once you've done that, there's one piece of code that I'd like you to delete, and this one here, because this is just basically a piece of CSS code, and that can throw out the entire design. So the thing to do is to remove that completely. Just do that and just close up the space. And then the next thing to do is to copy everything here above the div tag here. Just copy all of that to the top. Now what we're looking for is the form method post. That's really important, and all the input type tags. Now if you're using a different autoresponder system than Aweber, you might be using GetResponse or some other system. It may be that the input types are elsewhere within the code, so you just basically need to go in there and just grab them. But with Aweber it's all in one place, thankfully, so we can just take all we need here. I'm just going to copy that. Now I'm going to go back to my page. I'm just going to find the code here. I'm just looking at this in split view, so we've got the source code here, and then we have the design view right below it. And a really quick and easy way of finding the source code is just to highlight the text within the design view. So I'm just highlighting that there, and it's pulled it over here, so we've got claim your there. So what we're now looking for is the form code within the landing page template, and let's do that now. So I'm just closing the window up a bit so we can see more of what's going on. What we're looking for is this, where it says form ID form 1. I'm going to move this window over so we can see more of what's going on here. Okay, so this is what we've got here, and this is the very beginning of the form. Okay, this is what's called a form tag. Okay, this is where it says form ID or form. That's your form tag there, the opening form tag. And what I'm going to do now is paste everything I've just copied from here. I am now going to paste over that I've selected. Now you need to be really careful about what you select here. It's got to be including these like brackets here like that. So I'm just going to paste that in position now. So if I move this over, we can see that that's all been dropped in. Okay, and whatever happens, don't put any breaks in there at all. It must all be on one line. So if I move this window open, if I stretch that window open, we can see that everything is all on one line as it should be, like so. Okay, so that's the first part of the code that we need. We're almost there with what we need now. So if I go back to the source code of what we're looking at here, this stuff in the middle we don't need. This is just all design. These are just design elements given to us by Aweber. So if we look down here, we've got the closing form tag. What we need is this here where it says div style display none, and then we have this link here all the way through to the very end. I'll show you all the way through to the very end. We need all of that. That's basically a piece of tracking code that Aweber have given us, so we can measure the conversions of this particular form within our Aweber members area. So I've just selected all of that, and I'm now copying that, and I'm going to bring that over to here. Now what I need to do is find the corresponding close tag. So I just scroll down the page here, and that's exactly what I'm looking for now. And it should be here somewhere. Here we are. We have the form, closing form tag. You know it's closing form because it's got this / within it. And I'm just going to place my cursor before it and put in a couple of returns in there. And now I'm going to paste what I showed you before directly into that space. So here's that code. Okay. I'm just going to pull it over a bit, take out that space so we can see it's all in one line. Okay, so that's it. That's basically all we need to do now. There's one other thing that you need to be aware of. When you're working with forms, now they can be a bit tricky if you don't know what you're doing. Oh, before I forget, make sure you save as well. You can always tell if you haven't saved because there's a little star next to the name. So make sure you save your changes as you're going along within Dreamweaver. So I'm just saving that now. Okay, so where was I? Right, okay, we've got the form fields. We need to be careful of these because each autoresponder system calls form fields different names. And I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to the properties window now within Dreamweaver so we can see what it's called, because here it will tell us. Okay, so I'm just clicking on this here, and the text field, it says name. Okay, within Aweber it's always called name for name. If I go to email address, it changes to email, like so. If you're using GetResponse, it will be something different. If you're using another autoresponder system, it will be something different again. So that's something that you need to be really careful of. You need to find out what that form field name is, because if you don't get it right, the form won't work. It's as simple as that. But we're using Aweber, so we know this is definitely going to work. Okay, so let's scroll down the page here again, and that's basically it. We're there, we're done. So in the next video, what we're going to be doing is uploading this theme to our website via FTP, and we're going to use a program called FileZilla, which is completely free to use. So head on over to the next video, and we're almost there with it. Okay, thanks very much.